This video is going to be a little different than the rest. Although there was no lack of stunning vistas and views, Oregon was a section of trail where I pulled out my camera the least. Oregon, more than any other section along the hike, was one where I went inward, where I let my thoughts and emotions bubble and flow, where I looked at who I was and where I wanted to go once my journey north came to a close. Although Oregon was the flattest section, and physically you could argue it was probably the easiest, I felt I struggled here more than any other section of the trail. Oregon was where my mental strength was pushed to reaches and limits I had not yet tested on this trip. At this point, we had lived on trail for months, and there was a certain fatigue that hung above every head. Small aches had transformed into overuse injuries from pushing through the long summer days. I struggled with plantar fasciitis that came and went, sometimes feeling debilitating. Warm tears would visit my cheeks from time to time as I walked through the pain, hoping a little rest would result in some relief the next day. The July sun brought with it hot, muggy days, the kind you want to hide away from in the deep forest shade. A heat wave passed, some days reaching temperatures of 104 degrees Fahrenheit, making parts of the hike feel like a fever dream. Wildfires started igniting up and down the west coast, leaving a smoky haze hanging in the sky and closing multiple sections of trail, leaving a feeling of uneasiness for the future of our hike. But above everything else, the biggest struggle in this section was no bigger than a grain of rice: the mosquitoes. They were there waiting for us when we woke up and accompanied us till we sought shelter in our tents at night. Clouds of them would chase us and turn once relaxing moments into irritating endeavors. The smell of DEET mixed with sweat and soil became our daily perfume. Some of us finding more creative ways than others to escape this constant onslaught. Now, I'm bringing up these struggles not to be a downer or to elicit pity, but to show a reality that comes with this type of adventure. It's easy to show a montage of the beautiful landscapes, but sometimes harder to show the internal or emotional sides of an adventure like this. Like in life, the trail has its ups and downs, and through everything I just talked about, I still spent the majority of every day happy. I still found side trips and adventures. There were still new experiences around every bend in the trail. After my hike, many people have asked me if it was hard, and the obvious answer would seem to be yes, there's an amount of difficulty, but there's so much more to the story. All the challenges and difficult moments, they were all part of the experience. Through all of this, I could never shake the feeling of how lucky I was to be out there. Even on the hardest days, I knew that I'd rather be here, doing this, than anywhere else in the world. Suffering is subjective and only holds as much power over us as we give it. I still had my companions to laugh with and to lean on when I needed some support, to share the highs and commiserate in the lows. I saw the beauty in the moments all around. I was aware that the hard moments, along with the good ones, were ephemeral, and tried to not let any moment or feeling pass by unnoticed, knowing that these times were just as important to my journey and to my growth as the amazing ones that I share on Instagram. A trail this long holds many parallels to life itself, just in a much more condensed version. You can't take the good moments and leave the bad. All must be experienced and integrated. The adventure would feel much less rich and rewarding if these moments were to be omitted. Through it all, I still found myself in a love affair with the trail, and Oregon still secured a very special place in my heart. As we stepped foot onto the iconic Bridge of the Gods and crossed the mighty Columbia River into Washington State, I couldn't help but smile, overflowing with joy and excitement for the miles to come.